YouTube, how are you now? So I'm back on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I've been noticing a trend recently, especially in the last couple of days. But even with the beginning of Season 3, like the matchmaking has definitely gotten a lot easier. So if you look at my combat record right now, I'm 4.35 KD, but that's gone up quite a bit because the last 10 games is like a 10.4 KD. So that's a huge, huge difference. If you look at these games, 60 and 5, 68 and 4. I actually got kicked in the middle of this game while I was in the middle of a gunship. We still had a few minutes left, and I still had SAE and a Predator drone left over too, so that could have been a huge game, but I got kicked in the middle of the gunship for whatever reason. Probably people were reporting me. Then 41 and 5, 24 and 0, got joined in progress. We were down like 900 to 700. We still lost, but 24 and 0. 59 and 2, 41 and 8, 50 and 3, 49 and 3, 42 and 4. So it's definitely been a huge change recently, especially because in the beginning I was like around maybe a 3.5 KD on average, but the games definitely felt a lot harder. I'd have bad games a lot more often, whereas recently I've been having mostly good games. So I'm not sure if they've actually adjusted the skill-based matchmaking or not. It definitely feels that way, but it could be just not as many people playing because I do only play Invasion, so there aren't that many people who play that game, so it could just be not that many people left playing it. So yeah, 4.35 this season. That was like 6.6, so yeah, definitely a big difference this season, especially recently. So I'm not sure if they're actually doing any changes to the skill-based matchmaker or not, but it definitely feels a lot easier. So yeah, this game was the join in progress. It started down 900 to 700. Why they still put you in games in progress that are more than halfway over, I don't even know, but it's too late in the life cycle now to probably change that. I would guess there's just not that many people playing, so there's not enough. The game's active, lobby's active, server's active, whatever. It's probably like one per region. So you either get in the game or you wait until the game's over and get in it when it's fresh, but I would rather wait, because sometimes it has me waiting a long time, a few minutes. One time it was like 15 minutes, so I just stopped searching. But that was a little late at night, so probably just not many people playing. But yeah, Invasion definitely feels a lot easier, but there are some weird things going on in Invasion as well. Like a lot of people I see going like 0 and 15, 2 and 20, that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if they're like reverse boosting or boosting somebody on the other team, or they're just not even playing, like they're AFK the whole game, or they're just terrible at the game. But I see that quite often now. Didn't really see a whole lot of that in the beginning, but I see that pretty much all the time now, multiples every game. So definitely something has changed for sure. Games feel a lot easier, a lot more casual, which I like. I do like it a lot better. So I don't feel like having to struggle my hardest every single game to never have a chance at winning. That's how it felt quite frequently. Like I would try my hardest and still struggle and still lose by a mile because everybody on my team was just doing terribly. So no matter what I did, we were just going to lose no matter what. So even when I had really good games sometimes too, I'd go like 40 and 1 or something like crazy like that. We'd still lose by like 500 points, so 1,500 to 1,000, still a blowout. So a lot of those games felt like there was just nothing you can do, so that's not very fun either. Definitely a lot more enjoyable when it's a mix of players. So I still don't always have good games. There's still some games that are a struggle, but for the most part, they're mostly good games, which I would think is the way it should be. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you guys have been experiencing the same thing, or if your matchmaking feels any different. It feels the same, feels harder, easier, whatever, because I only play Invasion, so I have no idea what it's like in any of the other game modes, but I would assume the skill matching is going to be a lot more strict in the smaller game modes, especially like 6v6, because it's not as many people, whereas Invasion, they got to find 40 people, and there's also bots, so a lot of the people playing this game are just farming bots too, so yeah, hopefully this is the trend. I'm not sure if they're testing things out, because their player base is dropping off, or maybe because X Defiant's releasing next week, which doesn't have skill-based matchmaking. But I wouldn't think they're too concerned about X Defiant. The gameplay in that game is not nearly as good as this game, so I'd much rather play this game if it didn't have such strict skill matching compared to X Defiant. So hopefully this is the trend and they're changing things, or at least in certain modes like Invasion, because as long as there's at least one mode where I can play that doesn't have super strict skill matching, I can still play every now and then, but it'll be nice to have at least less strict skill matching in public matches anyway, unranked, because you got nothing to show for it anyway. You don't know what your skill rating is, what your matchmaking rating is. It's all hidden in the background, so you have no idea where you stand, where your opponents stand, where your teammates stand, so you have no idea how badly the game is stacking the odds against you. Like, if all the better players on the other team and all the worst players on your team, you know you don't have a chance. But you don't see any of that, so all you have are kills and wins. And if the game's stacking the odds against you behind the scenes, those kills and wins don't mean anything because there's nothing to compare it to. There's no baseline for everybody. Everybody's got a different baseline. Everybody's got different matchmaking. Everybody's got different difficulty levels in all their lobbies, so none of it matters, you know? Yeah, I would definitely prefer less strict skill matching, so it doesn't have to be completely taken out. Because you do still have to protect those new players and far below average players who won't be able to do much against the average majority, because most players are around average skill, so if they're far below average skill or brand new to the game, even against average players, they're still going to have a hard time. So understandable that they have that protected bracket, which they've always had from the beginning, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare until now, but the strict skill matching they introduced in Modern Warfare 2019 and beyond, not enjoyable for me at all. So I haven't really played all that much of the recent games. I skipped out on Cold War, I skipped out on Vanguard. I only played really Ground War in the original Modern Warfare 2019, and then Modern Warfare 2 I only played. What was it? Yeah, Invasion. And same thing for Modern Warfare 3 Invasion. And zombies. I play a lot of zombies in this game. It's like 3 or 4 times the amount of playtime in zombies compared to multiplayer. And multiplayer I've only played Invasion, so I think I played like 1 or 2 games of Ground War, but that's it. Yeah. Hopefully this is indicative of what they plan for the future. At least relaxing the skill matching a little bit, or having some modes that don't have super strict skill matching for players who don't want it, you know? At least give us the options. You don't have to force everybody to do the same thing. Just give players the options, you know? And they'll probably split up the player base a little bit, but it's better than forcing everybody to play a certain way, especially if they don't want to play that way, because they'll just end up making them leave the game. So I feel like people are definitely getting burnt out on Call of Duty, especially due to the matchmaking, myself included. A lot of my friends who I used to play Call of Duty with every year don't even play Call of Duty anymore, really. So definitely something has to change, otherwise Call of Duty is probably going to end up falling off harder and harder. So only time will tell, though. But I do enjoy the experience more now than I did in the beginning. That's for sure. So I'll just have to wait and see if it's permanent or not. Yeah, this was the game where I got kicked in the middle of my gunship. So not this gunship, but the next one. So I got 2 gunships in one game, and then I got kicked in the middle of my second gunship while I was still raining terror on everybody, and I still had my SAE and my Predator drone kill streak, and still had a few minutes left in the game too. So could have been a huge game. 68-4 is what it ended up being, but could have been a huge game. But they kicked me out for whatever reason, probably getting reported. But that's pretty stupid if you just get mass reported and get kicked out of the game anytime you're doing well. That happened quite a bit in Modern Warfare 2 as well. Anytime I had a really good game going, I would get kicked in the middle of a kill streak. usually the gunship. So those best games where I was going to have the best games ever, I would get kicked before I could actually have those best games. So that's pretty stupid. Not only do they have strict skill matching and everything else, but then you get kicked if you're doing too good as well. So there's too many problems with the game itself, with join in progress and disbanding lobbies and all that, on top of having strict skill matching. It's like there's no place. They even said in their white paper that anything outside of just ping-based matchmaking significantly increases the matchmaking time. So why put it in then? Why significantly increase the matchmaking time when you want people to get quick games, especially in unranked public matches that have no skill rating, no ranks, no visible ranks, no nothing like that to work towards, no progression. It's just kills and wins. So kills and wins don't matter if there's secret matchmaking behind the scenes creating a different baseline for every player based on their matchmaking rating, skill rating. Some people have easy lobbies, some people have hard lobbies, some people have in between. Kills and wins don't mean anything if you don't show the difference in the lobbies. Yeah. I could go on and on why not a fan of skill-based matchmaking, but I just hope that change, some type of change is coming, you know. It doesn't have to be drastic, it doesn't have to be across the board, it just has to be something. Tired of always having to fight the matchmaking on top of fighting other players, everything else with nothing to show for it. Game's trying to make me a 1 KD player, 50-50 win rate player in hard lobbies, while it's trying to make other players the same in easy lobbies, but not distinguishing between the two. Like, it's not enjoyable, you know? I mean, some people enjoy competitive games, grinding out for the close matches and that kind of stuff. I enjoy it every now and then, but not every single time. And it'd be one thing if the skill matching actually created even lobbies where there's good players on the other team and good players on my team. But that's usually not the case. What usually happens is the better players are put on the other team, and because it can't find enough good players, it finds bad players and they put them on my team, so we have no chance against the other team, even though the skill might be equalized, averaged across the team, because there's higher skill players on one team, but there's lower skill players on the same team. The skill ratings might be about the same on average for the team, but the other team is definitely going to be better because on average they're going to be better players overall, not as much change between them. So yeah, here's where I get kicked. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.